In this video we're going to view information traveling across networks or the internet and how NAT is involved in that. NAT stands for Network Address Translation, and what that means is here you can see we have our router and then we have our server, and we're going to set up some PCs here. We'll throw up like 4 of them. Now, how NAT works is we're going to set these PCs up to be on private IP addresses, like a home network. And so you can think of like having a boundary in between. On this side of the router, the left side of this is going to be private, and then on the right side, private IP addresses don't have access to the internet because they're private. And you know, I can't tell you how many routers in the world are their IP address is 192.168.1.2 or something similar to that, and then you know all the devices connected on the network just go, you know, .1, .2, .3, .4, but those are all private, so it's okay. But what NAT does is when this computer sends information and it needs to get out here, it goes from this private IP address to here, and then NAT translates that that local address to a global address and allows it to go out. And then when the information comes back, the router's built a table for all the local IP addresses, and it retranslates the information and turns the global address back to a local address, and then sends the information where it needs to go. So the first thing we're going to do is check the configuration of our router here. And if we go here to status, you can see here's the internet address. This is all the global stuff. This would be the right side of our boundary. This is this side. So if we go to local network, you can see this would be the left side of our address of the boundary. These 192 these are private IP addresses, and you can see the range we've got here is from 100 to 149, so we've got 50 users. So everything here looks good. So let's connect our PCs to our router. We're just going to use straight through fast Ethernet. Take the first available port each time. So we can check the configuration of the PCs. Let's check this first one here. We go to the desktop and then get to the command prompt. ipconfig /all. You can see it's just a bunch of zeros. It hasn't been configured to there's no we haven't told it to get its IP address dynamically through DHCP. So we're going to go here, use the fast Ethernet, click the radio button for DHCP. Now it's obtained an IP address. So we'll do that for each one. And you'll notice these are all getting private addresses, 192. So if you remember, we were talking about this imaginary boundary. So from this boundary left, these are all getting private addresses. And then when one of these computers sends information out or receives it, NAT will translate this local address for a global address. So let's check our configuration now. So you can see now it's got all of its IP addresses, so it should be connected. So now we're going to send some information across send some out, get it back, and then we'll be able to look and see. We should be able to find where the addresses have been getting replaced. So we just want TCP and HTTP for our filters. And then move this out of the way. For here we want this to be HTTP. Our source is this server, so it threw in that IP address. As you can see, it's not a private. Source port, we're going to put in 1000. Change this, and then create PDU. So here's our little packet. So if we hit play, we can view our packet travel across the internet. So here it's left, it's gone to here. Here's where NAT is occurring. This local IP address is right here. You can see it's 192.168.1.1. That address can't be used to go across the internet. So NAT is going to translate it and replace that with a global one, and then when it comes back, it'll reverse the process. And if you had all four of these devices connected, your router here would build a table of all these local addresses, so it would know each time something came back, oh, this came from here, so I'll retranslate it for that one. So now that that's done, we can go and check. This is our event list. Let's check this one. So here's our envelope here. Here's our source IP and our destination IP right here. You can see they're both global addresses. So are those. Let's find maybe this one. That is not the one I'm looking for. Here we go. So here's the source, destination. They're both global. But now you can see the destination has been translated to the private address. So what happened here was NAT got this information. It was the source right here. The router was the source, or the destination. The source, it was coming from this way. But then it got to here and it was like, now where do I go? What happened was it took the table and NAT translated the destination to the local IP address, and it replaced it so that it could get to its destination. So that is a basic overview of how network address translation works.